All right.
Good morning, Irving Sunrise Rotary. Welcome to our second meeting of 2022. And it's good to be back. So we will have Judge lead us in our prayer.
Good morning, Irving Sunrise Rotary Club. We're going to see a beautiful sunrise this morning. And it's great to be here. This morning, I'd like to share with you from Matthew. It says, "Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven." And with that, there's a few of us gray-haired people that may relate to this, but it dates back to World War II, and there was one prisoner there, Max, and he was always got the worst duty. He was hauling rocks and big timbers to build a crematorium, but he was very steady. He never complained, and he was actually Father Maximum Colbert, with a K. But anyway, he was very steadfast, and there was one guard that was just hard on everyone, and he was known as Bloody Crowd. But what Max did, he encouraged the other prisoners to keep faith. No matter what your circumstances, he said, "I know that you want to get home with your family, but stay strong here and support each other." And his final state was, "Good circumstances don't make good people. Great people create good circumstances." Let's pray. Father, we thank you for your word. We thank you for the freshness of your word. Father, we thank you for the opportunity that we have in this free country to worship in if we choose. Father, we just thank you for this club. We're going into a new year, and that we will continue to seek out those that are less fortunate in our community. And Father, we will assist those that are around. Father, we thank you for our program this morning, the opportunity to learn more about the city that we live in and what's going on in the workings of the city, but what we can do as individual citizens of this community. Father, pray for our new leadership as they are soon going into pets, and that Jeff will go and find out the roots of Rotary, what he needs to prepare for to be a great president for this club. And Father, pray for those that are not here. You know the reason why. Just pray that you will guide them, direct them, bring them back to us safely. We pray these things in Jesus' holy name. Amen. And if you would stand. Will lead us in the pledge.
Please join me in the pledge to our radio.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, CD.
And now you may be seated.
Now, thank you both.
Any announcements this morning? Get us rolling.
Just want to let you know that Saturday we braved the rain and the sleet and the snow, and we took the adopt a spot. So it was myself, Sally, CD, and Friday. Thank you. Yeah, Rob, who provided all the videos. So I didn't find any $100 bills, but we cleaned up.
Yesterday, Bill Caton came by the office and brought me our installation banquet from June of 2005. And the program's kind of interesting because as you look back through it, you find out who was in our club back in that day. And we only had, even in 2005, we still only had 5 charter members left that started the club in 1987 out of the 25 or so that started. So there's still 3 of us left. But I'm going to give it so we can maybe have it posted on the website. So we'll just have it posted. It'd be interesting just to look and see how we used to do things back in the paper day.
Thank you, sir. I'll get the original back to you.
Any more announcements, Frank? Oh, yeah.
I'm not gonna use that. Yes, she's a guest city reporters and then Imelda. Family Promise is having their Friday, March 11th, chip in for charity golf session. So please put a group together. I'd love to have my Rotary guys come and participate. I believe Michael Soko is, we can put it on the website. It's really right around the corner, March 11th. There's a way to go online or Ken, if you want to head up the group, since you already said you're going to play, all get together. Maybe we could have 2 golfing groups. Who knows? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jeff. Quick thing about adopt a spot. Adopt a spot in February is the 12th. So you can mark your calendar and it's on the website, so you'll know when the next one. And thanks for everyone's support. And Roderick's leadership on this has really taken the mantle and done a nice job about it. So I did want to mention here on the screen, you'll see a picture of this fellow right here. And this gentleman, and just to remind you, when COVID started and we started with the Zoom calls, and we didn't miss a single meeting. I think we're one of the few Rotary clubs that we didn't miss a single one. And it was made possible because of that gentleman right there. Zoom was a very new concept, and we had just started, and I had done a little research on it, and I got the free version, but we could only get 40 minutes worth. And being the cheap guy that I am, I didn't get to the paid version, which would allow more than 40 minutes and more than 3 people. But one of our members stepped up and said, you know, I'll pay, and I think it's like $15 if I'm not, somewhere around in there, $14.95. Yeah, it's gone up every month. And so because of his generosity, I log in as him. So sometimes people ask, is he on the Zoom call? But no, I log in as him. And he's crazy enough to share his email and his password with me. And I use it on Thursday mornings for the Zoom call. And there's another gentleman, one of our founders, Mr. Kennedy, he's on the Zoom call. You can see him here in the corner. But I just wanted to see if we could all give him a sincere round of applause to Mr. Kennedy.
Okay, one thing I want to ask is some more prayers. My granddaughter for Christmas got a hoverboard. She's amazing on it. My son, however, broke 4 bones in his ankle.
Oh.
So he's going into surgery today. So please say a prayer for him. And since he's a roofer, that's not a good thing. Next week, we're going to hold a officers meeting to talk about fundraising, membership, and set our goals for this year so that we can present it the next week. Also, our speaker next week will be Dave Palmer, who's the general manager for Guadalupe Radio, which is Catholic radio. He's amazing, so I'm thrilled about seeing Dave. But plan next week, if you've got any ideas, fundraising, socials, and service projects. Then I get to announce our speaker, Imelda Speck. I have known her literally since before she was born. I've held her as a baby. She loved her from the beginning, love her parents. Like her parents, she is so intelligent, so creative, and so involved. And I'm so thrilled that she's come back to Irving, working for the city, especially in the heart, for my heart is in the city, and that's South Irving in our historical area. So she's gonna get us up to date on where we stand.
Good morning, everyone. Imelda Speck. I'm the Senior Economic Development Coordinator for the City of Irving, and my duties are coordinating all of our downtown redevelopment, as well as working with our small businesses downtown and throughout the city. So today, just to introduce us to what's going on downtown, I thought it was important to try and give a high-level overview and refresher of what the vision is for downtown. Some of you are probably aware that this has been in the making for quite some time. So I'm going to bring some information back to the forefront just to put in your minds as we get through some of the projects that are on the ground now and are coming our way. Talk about how that impacted the adoption of our form-based code standards, get to the projects, and then what we're going to be doing as a city next steps. Next slide, please. So this vision document was created back in 2011 with the input of the community and what they wanted to see downtown. When they come into Heritage District, what do the type of buildings, the type of atmosphere, the environment that would be down there for the downtown. Next slide. So a place that has a variety of housing types, a place for people to come and shop, to have recreation, to just enjoy themselves, to be this destination for all. So the next couple of slides are just going to be some of those visioning images, just to kind of plant that in your head. So this is an idea of what we may do one day, hopefully, with the cooperation of DART. As you come in from O'Connor from the north, having this welcome, this entrance bridge, if you will, into the Heritage District. Next slide. Next, we want to make sure we have safe and functional public sidewalks and streets. So I'll get into this in talking about our form-based code, but the idea here is making it a more pedestrian-friendly downtown. There are some areas that have great sidewalks and some areas that don't. We want to make sure we're expanding those, making it where people can walk along the boulevard and enjoy themselves, have areas for placemaking or respite, so you can come and sit and enjoy the outdoors. Next slide. This is an overview of the downtown area closer to Delaware Creek. So we see some conceptual drawings here, renderings of what we hope to see in that city-owned property that's right by the Long John Silvers, I'm sure some of you are familiar with. We want to see a development come in that incorporates the creek. We've seen success of and a beautiful Centennial Park. We have the Delaware Creek Homes and how they have incorporated their development with the creek there. We'd love to see some patio dining like that on the creek. We see other buildings that have been moved up to the street, again, creating this more of a downtown atmosphere. Next slide. So again, just some more imagery, buildings, the patio, some areas along the creek, and dining. Next slide, please. Again, just another vantage point. We want to see some height in our buildings, so not just one story, but 2, maybe 3 stories in some areas downtown. And this would allow leeway to mixed use, so you'll have that commercial retail on the bottom, some opportunities for residential or professional offices up top. Next slide. Here is an overview of some conceptual drawings for the core downtown. So we have our main street here. We have some other newer buildings, again, pushing them up to the street versus further back. We want to try and move our auto related uses like parking behind the building. Next slide. This is what we would hope to see along Main Street. We have currently several one-story buildings, so we'd love again to see some height, as you would see in some other traditional downtowns. They have the 2-3 story, potentially reorienting the entrances for our buildings at the intersections towards the intersection. So either way you're coming, you're able to enter that building. Next slide. Awnings, overview, places again to have patio seating out on the sidewalk area. Next slide. This was an exercise completed by one of our staff members that took the current structures of Main Street and just did some conceptual drawings of what it could look like. Again, adding some height to the buildings, bringing in some more of those traditional aesthetics in regards to brick and other material in design. Next slide. Now, this area, just to highlight, is part of our downtown Heritage Crossing District zoning. This is just north of the train tracks. This is known as our TOD, or Transit Oriented Development Area. And I will say we recognize this is a long-term goal, but it is part of the zoning in the area. So it's going to be further out as we see the redevelopment happening downtown. We're hoping that to spread out. And so what the zoning has been put in place and what we envision is an opportunity for more potential mixed use, some higher density of uses. And maybe hopefully one day be able to create this green space in the middle to try and how do we connect the north side of the train tracks to the downtown area. We want to seek opportunities for increasing the number of public art installations in the area, giving again another placemaking element to the downtown, a reason for people to come and visit, enjoy the public art, those Instagram worthy photos that you see people taking, having other opportunities like that in the downtown. Next slide. The next couple of slides are going to show some concepts for residential development. Currently in the city, it's either a single family home or multifamily. In the downtown area, we want to see a mixture of housing types. This will help provide for a variety of affordability, just on a market base, as well as providing a variety of housing types for the look and feel you want to see in the downtown area. So this is an example of a cottage court where you're having the houses facing each other, smaller lot lines. Next slide. This is some more examples of that. You know, you can have different styles, if you will, with that same concept of housing. Next slide. We do allow for duplexes, and here you might look at this and think, oh, it's just a single family home, but if you look closely, depending on the angle that you're looking at, you'll see a front door on this way and then a front door this way. So it provides opportunities to have, again, a different variety of housing styles, housing product type, excuse me, but we want to, you know, still create that feel of maybe just a single family home. Next slide. We want to introduce townhomes. We have some projects underway right now, again, providing another product type for residents to choose from. Next slide. And then up to the urban multifamily. So there is, we do have one of those projects coming online, and I'll talk about that here in a minute. But the big thing about those projects is we want to make sure the style and again the aesthetics of them fit in with the downtown. So we're looking for this more traditional style, if you will, of an urban multifamily. And in the downtown area, there are limits to the height of the density of those buildings. So it wouldn't be, you know, more than 5 stories, I believe. Next slide, please. Okay, so that's the vision. And then from that vision in 2017, we took a very important step and we codified that vision by creating the Heritage Crossing District zoning. And the reason this is important is because it provides consistency for the style and the vibe and the feel that you have downtown. So when we have interested developers coming in and they want to do something, they know what they can expect and what and how they should be building their buildings. So one key that was very important for us to do there. It also allowed for character districts. So you'll see there's 3 shades of colors here, that those are 3 sub-districts of the zoning, and they all allow for mixed use, because that's the whole idea behind, one of the biggest ideas, I should say, behind form-based code, is it's more about the form of the building, not necessarily the use. But the intensity of those uses and the intensity of the design is what varies among these sub-districts. So in the red is that transit oriented. So you're going to see potentially taller buildings, more density there. Versus here in the orange is our neighborhood mixed use, so you'll see single family homes up to townhomes only. And then the purple is going to be that middle section where it kind of melds the two together so you have a nice flow from one district to the next. Next slide. Now, the key elements of a form-based code is it's very different than your traditional zoning, where it's more about what is the use, and then it goes to design and then to form. Form-based code is more about how does that form interact with the streetscape or the public realm. So here in the downtown area, we want to see buildings pushed up to the street versus having parking lots and or auto-related amenities in between the street and the building. This will help to minimize the conflicts between the pedestrian environment that we're trying to create and the auto-related. So it's not that the auto-related, the parking is going away, we're just putting them behind. So as you're walking down the street, pedestrian, that's not the first thing that you see, because that can create a sense of it not being safe as you're walking. And we'll get really into that when I talk about the Irving Boulevard project as it is today. But this is an example concept drawing as you're again seeing buildings pushed up, landscaping in between the street and the road, wide sidewalks. Again, height, a form that allows for multiple uses versus one. And that's the idea of a form-based code, and that's what we implemented downtown. Okay, next slide. All right, so here is probably the most exciting slide, I think. This is a lot of information. This is over $109 million of investment that has happened in the downtown area since just 2015. And these are projects that are either on the ground now or are under contract and are about to break ground. So, and this represents both economic development, so private dollars, as well as public dollars. And it is a 60-40 split about right now. So 60% of these dollars have come from private investment and 40% from the public. So we are seeing that return on investment from our public dollars going into the amenities and other public infrastructure projects that we have going on downtown. Next slide. So the next couple of slides, I'm going to break down what those projects are. First, we'll do the exciting ones, the economic development ones. These are our private projects coming in. So most recently, we had a Starbucks flagship come to downtown. Many people are very excited about that. We have a great big coffee shop. It's been busy. I see students in there. I see obviously city staff is down there getting their afternoon coffee, getting that pick me up and enjoying themselves there. We also have our 124 South Hastings redevelopment. This is a project included here as well as in some of our city projects because it was involved in the corridor enhancement grant. But the project here, some of you may recall, was a one-story cinder block building. The owner came in and put a second story to relocate her Main Street staffing business to the top floor and open up 2 new retail spaces, commercial spaces on the bottom. And she was getting interest on that throughout the project, and she filled those very easy. And what I find also very exciting is there are 2 local entrepreneurs from Irving that built those spaces. A woman who has opened a dress shop, so custom selling dresses and making dresses. And then the picture here is the TPP Boutique, which has been both doing very well. So it just shows the great entrepreneurship we have here in Irving and that they are ready to get some brick and mortar spaces. So exciting when we can get those types of businesses downtown. We have our 222 East Irving that was renovated back in the 2015, 2016. We have a stage outside. We saw this as for the city as an opportunity for an entertainment spot downtown. And Main Stage 222 currently occupies that. We have it leased to them as their inside for a rehearsal space, a black box theater. So they'll be rehearsing there as well as putting on their own shows. And part of their performance obligations to rent this is to do a certain number of performances throughout the year. So this picture up here on the left is one of those shows. They did a blues review in the summer, and I know they were really excited as the lease was in 2019, and they had shows lined up, and then COVID hit. So I know talking with them in that group, they are super excited for this next year to continue to program it. They're starting to do so. So be on the lookout for those events. This is an opportunity to have some entertainment downtown. Next category are our mixed use projects. This first one on the bottom is our Lafferty TOD. So this is at the former lumberyard, as some of you may know. This is a two-phase project, and this is a rendering of the first phase. So this is again in that area where we're seeing the higher density, the transit-oriented development building off of the dark station there. The idea is you can have higher density around there because people will be getting on and off the train, be able to get to work. So it's a 4-story building, 194 unit multifamily project, market rate. And on the left here will be a cafe and a little amphitheater. So there will be some programming opportunities there as well for some small shows, whatever the developer has in mind there. Phase 2, not pictured on here, is the parking lot in front of it is the Chase parking lot, or former Chase parking lot, I should say, that the city owns. And that will be a 3-story mixed-use project with retail on the bottom and 2 stories of residential up top, 18 what we call live, work, play lots, if you will. And that will be coming in. So this project is, we're about to close on it, and construction will start this year. It must be completed by the end of December 2024. And then phase 2 has to be completed by the end of 2026. He is very excited and eager to get the project started, so it may come sooner for both of those. This project ties into our Irving Boulevard, and that's why it's taking a couple years to get that going. But then we have here in the middle is our housing channel project, townhome project. This is on 2nd Street. So it's currently under construction. If you go there now, several people have asked what's happening. It's the block just catty corner to the Senior Heritage Center, excuse me. And it is a 12-unit townhome project, mixed use. So what do I mean by that? We have mixed use because the 2 corner lots, corner units will have a first floor as an opportunity for an office or a small boutique, and then residential up top, and then the remaining of them will just be purely residential. Mixed rate, as this project has received some of the city's home dollars, that's so this will be a for-sale product for first-time, an affordable project for first-time home buyers in Irving. So about 4 of the 12 units will be for first-time home buyers there. Next slide. Some now pure residential projects that we're working on, because as we're redeveloping the downtown area, we're having to help improve the market. So we really have to focus on the residential side, bringing more people in, providing newer housing product for the area. So we have several infill lots, single-family infill lots that the city owns, and a few of the ones that we have sold off have been to Operation Finally Home. This is providing a mortgage-free home for a veteran, an injured or wounded veteran. One has been completed, that was phase 1. We're in phase 2, where we have identified 3 other lots. One, which is, they just had the groundbreaking last month and will be construction starting soon. We had a couple of homes with Housing Channel, that they're the ones that are doing the townhome project. So they did 3 single-family homes in the downtown area, again for first-time buyers. And then our Delaware Creek phases, our Heritage Crossing, as the sign says, we call them Delaware Creek. But hopefully y'all are familiar with those. Phases 1 and 2 have provided 83 new homes. They're the 0 lot line, that cottage style where you have the muse area in between, and they've really learned to incorporate the Delaware Creek amenity of connecting to the trails there. Beautiful homes. It's been a very successful first phase. We had anticipated homes to sell 250,000, and the average selling price is about 330. Second phase, knowing the success of phase 1, we saw them about 350, 360 is the average selling price. I have Googled and seen higher ones than that, but so both phases have been very successful. Now 400 South MacArthur, just outside the downtown core. This is at 6th and MacArthur. And this is a 76-unit low-income housing tax credit project. So you're probably wondering, oh, we've been talking about bringing in new market rate. Well, as we redevelop the area, the city wants to make sure that we're not leaving people behind. So we want to make sure we're having a mix of affordability in regards to different housing types. So it's still market rate, but you have smaller homes that are less expensive, as well as some subsidized housing. And that's what this new product is, this is right by the school there. So it'll be for families, available to families, available to seniors, everyone. But a 76 unit product. And it was great working with this developer because the city said, we want to make sure if we're going to do this project and sell you our land, that you bring us a quality product. So we worked with them, and you'll see the outside of it has 70% stone or brick. So it's not a hard, it's hardy, which can be counted as masonry product because of its material. We wanted to make sure we saw stone and brick. We want to make sure we have a great looking multifamily project there. So this will be closing sometime this year, and then we'll take about 15 months to construct. So we're excited for that one as well. So those are economic development projects. You'll go ahead and go to the next slide, please. So on to our public improvements. So here the city has invested your tax dollars in many ways in the downtown area to continue to improve it. I'll get into Irving Boulevard, but that's the big one of the day, over $26 million project. Next is Heritage Park. It was over a $6 million project. We have the Center Park Recreation Rehabilitation, and I mention this because this is an amenity to the residents down there. It's very important that we have quality amenities for our current residents and future ones. This is what draws in new people as well. So down here, just some photos to show just the entryway, what it was in 2018. And now more open and inviting entry for that recreation center. We have our Irving Archive Museum, which provides an opportunity for other arts and cultures for the downtown, as well as our Main Street Plaza, an area for the downtown for you to go and enjoy the outdoors. You can grab lunch, grab a burger from Big Steak, go and sit outside. And then the big part of it was we were going to have rotating art. So you'll see there's these inset panel areas with lights on them where we're working with the art center to have rotating art there. The first installation were photos of the downtown. This installation were winners of one of their art contests that they had. So they'll be choosing different ones to put there. And then again, this gets at our goal for increasing the amount of public art in the downtown area. So creating again more placemaking. Next slide. So just highlighting Heritage Park, this was the design. We have an amphitheater, again, creating opportunities for entertainment, movie watching, shows, music. It was reorienting the depot and the train and community buildings around this now expanded park area, and creating opportunities for food trucks to come in. We'll go to the next slide. And this is it today. We completed it just in time for our holidays at Heritage Park. We'll be getting a better photo when the trees are in bloom in the spring to show all the green like you saw in the renovation design. But it's turned out beautiful. I think it was a successful tree lighting event. This is an aerial to kind of show again the view of the lights at night, and just the water tower being relocated. So there's some prominence there. Just another great amenity to the downtown. Next slide. Okay, one of my favorites, Irving Boulevard. I'm the coordinator over this project, working with many parties on this, because it is a very complicated project, but complicated in good ways. It's a very old roadway, needed revamping of the underground infrastructure, wanted to create opportunities for, again, that more walkable green district downtown. So this is a 1 mile project from Strickland to Sowers, and it's we're adding a bike lane, reducing the number of lanes from 3 to 2. That way we're slowing down traffic. The idea is to come to, not through the downtown. We're creating wider bump outs and sidewalks, landscaping, enhancing that, other amenities as benches and seats so people can sit and rest. And then a major part that, we'll see this beautiful new street, but the biggest part, the most important, is the revamping of all the underground infrastructure. And that's what's happening right now. So we'll be getting all new water, storm, and wastewater underground, and bring that system up to date so it can provide the infrastructure for our current development as well as the future development that we hope to see in the area. Next slide. So just way of background, this has been going on project there was a study back in 2008 where this idea was imagined. So in 2019, we had the funding together to go out and award the design contract. We kicked it off with some public stakeholder meetings in February 2020, and we had those throughout the project. We had to go from in-person to virtual. We met one-on-one with property owners, final design in April of 21, and then awarded in July and have started construction in November. And I want to say, for as big of a project this is and the complication is, this is a fast moving project. So a lot of heavy lifting. I want to give props to our city staff as well as Garber Street Outside, who are our contracts on this. A lot of work into this. So, next slide. Again, overall site plan, the 1 mile stretch. And what I want to note is a little bit of the background as to why you're seeing east, downtown, west core. So our landscape architect, Studio Outside, went out and did an assessment of what the built environment looked like. And as you see in the east side, if you can imagine driving down Irving Boulevard, vast parking lots. A lot of the buildings are pushed back from the road. So it's more, you know, for a small downtown like Irving, it's a concrete jungle, right? You know, in that sense. Then and connected sidewalks. As you get into the downtown core, you see more of that traditional compact development where the buildings are brought up to the street, a little bit of wider sidewalks, and then again, it widens back out to the west, but more towards the green open space of Centennial Park. So
East and west,
sorry,
east and west,
east, west.
okay.
Yeah. So coming along the one way of the road. So taking that into consideration and then taking what we want to see there visually as this is redeveloped and knowing that redevelopment takes some time, we had to do different designs, if you will, in the area. So on our east side where we have more of the parking lots, there's skinny lots, a bunch of curb cuts from all the businesses. We had to remove the parallel parking on each of the sides. And so what we did was reducing the intention of having parallel parking. We reduced the roadway, so we have this extra right of way, and we added it along the north side of that curve. So as you're driving into downtown, you're now going to see great landscaping versus a big parking lot there. So it helps to set the tone as you're coming into the downtown area. As you pass Britain, that's where our parallel parking will begin, and it becomes more of the pattern look that you would see in most downtowns. And you'll see that kind of here with the green dots along the way. And then it opens back up as you get past Hastings in Ohio to connect back into the green park area of Centennial Park. So you'll see that kind of pattern and organic pattern of tree laying, and then more pattern in downtown once the landscaping is all done. This also includes some enhancements. So we have a monument here on the east that's going to mirror our Millennium Fountain on the west. So as you come in, there'll be a big monument sign and a round design. So you know you're entering the Heritage District. Each of the other green dots will be our enhanced intersections, also with a design in the middle, paying homage to the circular form that we see in the downtown area. And then it'll be stamped concrete pavers there. There will also be, if you go ahead and go to the next slide, the circular form that I'm talking about was to connect to the Millennium Fountain, Centennial Park, Heritage Park. There's a lot of circular, Veterans Memorial all has the circular form already in the design, so we didn't want to do anything different. We want to make sure we're building on that design momentum. We'll also be using the same type of stone. So as I mentioned at those intersections in the monument, we'll also have a low seat-bearing wall throughout parts of the road of the corridor that curves. So you'll see that curved design coming through the corridor. Next slide. So again, just showing the circular form. Next slide. Millennium Fountain, you'll see these columns up here. Take note of that. We're about to go through some renderings, so you're going to see that repeated. So next slide. These are key project components just to give y'all some idea of the type of trees that you're going to see. We're going to get 37 new parallel parking spots, a bike lane, wider sidewalks downtown up to 8 feet, and then 6 feet east and west of that, and street furniture. Next slide. So here we have the monument on the east. We have our expanded green space coming in as you're driving in with the sidewall there. Next slide. The enhanced intersection, you'll see the columns here at Britain, again, looking like the ones at Millennium Fountain. Next slide. Coming into the downtown, that patterned landscape, and then our downtown Main Street intersection. Next slide. To keep up with the project, please go to our website, the cityofirving.org/Irving Boulevard. Click subscribe. You can get a monthly newsletter. We have monthly stakeholder meetings that can be attended in person and virtually. And you can get news announcements of anything that's going on, from street closures to what's happening. And all of that is also archived on the website. Next slide. Here we have our other, these are projects, city programs that are built to maintain and sustain what we're doing downtown. So I talked about that corridor and facade enhancement program for the 124 South Hastings. These are opportunities for business owners, property owners that are investing in the rehab of their building to get a grant from the city for those dollars. And then we have our code enforcement that have various initiatives that are either helping to educate or helping to do more stronger enforcement along the corridor to make sure that we're seeing this beautiful corridor as we come in. Next slide. This project is in a TIF, so this is how we're helping to fund the Irving Boulevard and other corridor enhancements as the as this redevelopment continues to grow. This is basically helping to fund more dollars for projects in the area. Next slide. Strategies, next steps of what we're doing next. So we have several city-owned properties that we own in the downtown area. We'll continue to release RFPs or requests for proposals to get developers to come in to develop on that property and buy the property. We're looking at doing a pilot project of how to repurpose Main Street and making it more pedestrian friendly. We'll be kicking that off in the spring, talking with our business owners there. Looking at reconstructing 2nd Street, similar to Irving, and then targeting also housing rehabilitation. Next slide. Looking at ways of other tools like our TIF to have other funding tools for redevelopment. How do we amend the zoning to keep up with market trends, and reviewing of our alcohol ordinance. Next slide. And then working with other departments to and the businesses down there. We hope to create and empower business owners to organize and have a business association to be a partner with us. We'd love to see them do programming to again help bring attraction to the downtown, working for programming with our Parks Department, the new Heritage Park, and other ways to promote public art and our communications. So the last thing I'm going to hit on is communications. I've started this. We've had a stakeholder meeting with some of the businesses downtown as the city will be creating and rebranding here. You can go to the next slide. Rebranding. Not rebranding, but using the logo that's been created and really making an effort to put that on anything and everything Heritage District, and then asking our businesses to go and use those graphics and promote them themselves. We have this spin-off effect. So we'll create marketing opportunities and hope our businesses will help promote that as well. And so you'll just see this all over everything. So that's everything.
Anyone have any questions? Are there any questions? Okay, we have an official Irving Sunshine Rotary.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
Do that, 1, 2, 3, fabulous, look forward. Beautiful.
Thank you. And just a reminder, this Saturday is roundtable at the Harper Baptist Church. Socializing begins at 9:30, meeting starts at 10. Everyone is welcome.
Right. Anything else?
Please join me in reciting the four-way test of potential takeoff field. First,
Is it true?
second,
Is it fair to all concerned?
third,
Will it build goodwill and better friendships?
and fourth.
Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Thank you.
Yeah, there is.